In this module, we will cover the features and functions of the Chat60, Chat60U, Chat160, and the Chat-Attach 160. Like the Chat50, the Chat60 is a portable audio peripheral that provides rich audio for hands-free calls. However, the Chat60 was specifically designed and optimized for use with Skype, the popular internet communication program. The 60 brings HD Conference, the trademark suite of high-performance audio processing technologies, to your Skype conference call, providing crystal clear speech for easy, natural conversations. Chat60 features include a single microphone and a single speaker. The microphone on the Chat60, located just below the speaker, is designed to deliver an ideal pickup range of about 120 degrees as the unit faces you. However, the pickup capability of the Chat60 picks up in a 360-degree pattern quite nicely. The Chat60 also includes acoustic echo cancellation, full duplex audio, noise cancellation, volume and mute controls, USB audio interface. In USB applications, no external power supply is required. The unit is powered via USB. The Chat60 is not limited to Skype applications. Just like the Chat50, the Chat60 also has the same analog audio interface for use with MP3 players, cell phones, or enterprise phones. External power supply via an optional power supply is required for non-USB applications. The Chat60 also has unique features specifically for use with Skype. It recognizes incoming Skype calls and rings the chat loudspeaker. Also available is the Chat60U. The Chat60U maintains the same performance as the Chat60 with the addition of a Skype call control button to answer and disconnect Skype calls. The Chat60U also differs from the Chat60 in that it is exclusively a USB device, powered via USB. The external power port and analog audio port have been removed. The Chat160 is the industry's first group speakerphone designed and optimized for Skype. The Chat160 for Skype features a single integrated loudspeaker, 3 unidirectional microphones with auto-gating or voice activation that adaptively tracks to the room's ambient noise, first mic priority, distributed echo cancellation, full duplex audio, noise cancellation on each microphone, volume and mute control, and a USB audio interface. Although designed to be used with Skype, the Chat160 can also be used with other applications such as enterprise telephones, video conference systems, VoIP soft phones, PC video conferencing, and instant messaging. If you recall from a previous module, the Chat150 had the option for 2 breakout boxes, one for enterprise telephones and one with a line in and line out port to interface to video conference systems. These breakout boxes will work with the Chat160 and can be purchased separately from CleareOne. Functionality is exactly the same as it was on the Chat150. The Chat160 with the enterprise phone breakout box connects to the headset jack of the handset for full duplex speakerphone capability. Compatibility is limited to certain phones as defined in the previous Chat150 modules. The Chat160 with the VC breakout box connects to the line in and line out of any video conferencing system for full duplex speakerphone capability. The Chat160 VC modes such as USB analog mix, external speaker mode, and video mode operate the same as they do on the Chat150. Please note, when using the breakout boxes with the Chat160, external power is required via the provided power supply. The ChatAttach160 facilitates Skype conferencing for medium to large conference rooms while maintaining all the features of the Chat160. ChatAttach consists of two Chat160s linked together via a provided 10-foot link cable for a total of 6 unidirectional mics and 2 speakers. This helps ensure even distribution of microphones and loudspeakers in a larger conferencing environment. Mute and volume control are tied together, allowing for global control from either Chat160. The ChatAttach160, although designed specifically to be used with Skype, can also be used with other USB audio applications such as VoIP smartphones, PC video conferencing, and instant messaging. The ChatAttach160 requires external power via the provided power supply. The chat software application that is used to configure the Chat50 and 150 is also compatible with the Chat60 and 160. When you're not using the Chat60 or Chat160 in a Skype application, you can use the chat software to reconfigure and customize levels for the specific device you're connected to. Using the chat software to configure your Chat60 or 160 is identical to configuring your Chat50 or 150, as we discussed in an earlier module. The Chat60U uses the same software, but since it does not have analog audio ports, it does not require configuration. The software is only needed for firmware updates. Time for a practice quiz. How does the Chat60U differ from the Chat60? A. The Chat60U has a Skype call control button. B. The Chat60U is USB only, no analog audio port. C. All of the above. The correct answer is C. Both the Chat60 and 60U are optimized for Skype, but the Chat60U has a call control button and is a USB-only device. Incoming Skype calls will ring on a Chat60 and Chat160 loudspeaker. True or false? The correct answer is true. Skype calls ring on the Chat60, 160, and Attach 160. Which of the following are requirements to use the Chat 160 with enterprise phones? A. Enterprise phone breakout box sold separately. B. External power supply. C. Chat software to reconfigure the Chat 160. D. A and C. E. All of the above. The correct answer is E, all of the above, including the enterprise phone breakout box, external power supply, and the chat software. Thank you for your time, and as always, you can learn more about our products by visiting www.clearone.com.